Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Inspired and Rav3n. Rav3n spawning as the blue undead on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Inspired is spawning as, or did spawn as, the purple human on the top left. Inspired is 17 years old, by the way. Well, anytime I see new players in the WarCraft 3 community, always great to see, passing of the torch, so to speak, as we're going to be going into a human versus undead matchup. Opening things up, Inspired not speed building this Altar of Kings, just building it the old-fashioned way. Meanwhile, Rav3n doing the same exact thing, opening things up with the classic Altar of Darkness, Crypt, and Ziggurat. Could be going for Death Knight Ghouls, as I do not see the graveyard as of yet. And as I say, Death Knight Ghouls, of course, it's going to be Dreadlord instead, going up against an Archmage. So, Rav3n opening things up with a Dreadlord first, and, well, can do quite a bit of damage with that Carrion Swarm, or trap enemy heroes with that Sleep. Especially with a large number of ghouls, it is easy to get a decent surround on an Archmage if he is unable to get away. 1 year, and he might fly to, and he, yeah, Warcraft 3 is older than him. Yeah, no, Warcraft 3 is over 20 years old, so it came out in 2002. So, yeah, 2002, back when I was still in college. I remember standing in line at a Fry's in San Diego to try and, at Fry's in San Diego during launch day, getting that collector's edition. So yeah, fond memories. Archmage gonna clear up this creep camp. At least Reforge is younger than him. All right, yeah, Dreadlord first gonna open things up. He does opt to go for Sleep, and, well, it was able to get an easy Sleep off onto that Footman and take him down. So early scouting Footman quickly getting taken out, and now Rod of Necromancy as well to try and, well, get more and more of these skeletal minions out here onto the battlefield. We do see a sacrificial skull, but the Dreadlord did not, I repeat, did not try and sell that Scroll of Helm Portal first. Ice Troll Trapper can easily get taken out, well, as they have that medium armor. Now going after the Sasquatch, or no, going after the other Ice Troll Trapper, really taking advantage of that armor, armor bonus damage here. Now going after that Ice Troll Priest, who, well, can be healing up large amounts of damage as well. Archmage with a lot of survivability items already, Talisman of Evasion and a Ring of Protection +3, turning him into a little bit more of a tanky hero, even only at 475 hit points. That 15% evasion coupled with that 28% damage reduction really definitely does help out. All right. Sasquatch, well, looking to finish off some of the militia here, and it looks like we're just going to be going into a classic style game. Sasquatch going to get cleaned up, as we are getting an expansion coming in from Rav3n. All right. No. What am I expecting here? Yeah, I did expect to see some, well, heavy Sleep, and this is going to force a Scroll of Helm Portal, most likely out from Inspired. There is Vampiric Aura on that Dreadlord, making it actually that much more difficult to try and break free, and a second Sleep now coming back across. There's not that many ghouls here, though, as the Archmage is able to shake off a little bit of that damage. And remember, the Talisman of Evasion and that Ring of Protection actually acted as quite a bit of additional effective hit points for that Archmage, as that Archmage, well, I would have naturally thought would have suffered quite a bit more damage. Archmage now heading back off to the north here. We're looking at, well, these units trying to escape away, as the Dreadlord wants to, well, take down this expansion before it really gets up and operational. Rav3n, however, well, now in a little bit of trouble himself. You can see that the Archmage with that Force, or the Ice Troll Priest, able to heal up large amounts of damage. And I've said this in the past, when you have high armor, the effective healing just becomes that much better. Thoughts on Springtime now that we saw a couple of games on it? It's a good addition with the odd gold mine count. Makes for intense games, yeah. The fact that the gold mine is in the center, with the creeps actually being far away from it so that you can traverse across the map without aggroing the creeps as we are seeing here. It makes for a bit of an interesting play as well. The gold mine on Concealed Hill does have a similar effect, but because the creeps are, well, because of the creeps there, you can often accidentally lose units while you're walking across the map. So I do like this springtime gold mine in the center, but the creeps are actually hidden and tucked away further away from the gold mine and only get aggroed if you try and actually place down a building. Coming back down to the south here, Archmage, Staff of Teleportation, teleporting to the Footman and now attempting to take down this Ziggurat or perhaps take down these Acolytes before they're able to, get too much gold out of this gold mine. More Acolytes making their way around. Meanwhile, where is the Undead Army? Undead Army is now finally coming their way off to the north here. Vampiric Aura and Sleep, but haven't seen a third ability as of yet. Still, more repairs on that Nerubian Tower as the Dreadlord going to try and rack up a bit of damage. More ghouls making their way around as Footmen taking down those Acolytes. Archmage dropping in another level 2 Water Elemental, trying to rack in more damage here. Another low hit point Footman going to get taken down here as the Dreadlord stays at level 3. All right, more damage still racking up. Ghouls trying to, turn around, get in a little bit of damage. Another ghoul going to get taken down as these Water Elementals really doing quite large amounts of damage to these ghouls, and with no Death Knight to heal them, are getting taken down pretty quickly. All right, where are we perhaps trying to travel off to next? Water Elemental, looking to head back here. A Skeletal Minion is gonna no Ritualistic Dagger, as we do see Carrier on Swarm level 1 at level 3. A bit more creeping could be underway here. More of these Deceivers and Apprentices. A quick sleep onto the Ice Troll Priest. Want to get that quickly surrounded and taken down. That's quite a bit of damage there, but it looks like it still will be able to get away. Another sleep in the process, and it finally gets shut down there. Level 4 now on the Archmage, but with only him really benefiting from that Brilliance Aura. No, a second Ice Troll Priest could end up getting taken down. Are we going to see another sleep onto that unit? Yes, we are, as the Ghouls and Skeletal Minions try to catch up and get a decent surround. Another Ghoul was taken down into that process, but taking down the Ice Troll Priest means that the damage is going to stick just a little bit better on all of the remaining units. 31 supply compared to 40. Rav3n actually losing quite a bit of units consistently and now behind on supply. Meanwhile, Inspired has an economic advantage and a slight army size advantage and a slight hero level advantage as well. Panda out here onto the battlefield. Breath of Fire could, spell doom for all of these ghouls if Rav3n continues to go with this mass ghoul strategy. Level 2 Breath of Fire, really does blow over all of those ghouls pretty quickly, allowing the Water Elementals and the Archmage to focus them down with their higher range damage. Potion of Greater Healing getting picked up by the Brewmaster here. It will get to level 2 if it clears out this 5-4-3 creep camp. Meanwhile, the Dreadlord still clearing out creep camps here. Vampiric Aura, taking care of a little bit of the healing, as we are going to be going into level 2 Carrion Swarm, which could cause a bit of problems for these low hit point footmen as well. Timing is just going to be key on that positioning. Breath of Fire level 2 Breath of Fire versus that Carrion Swarm here, as the Dreadlord looks to finish off this last tracker. True Shot Aura gonna be the item, not really altogether that great, could perhaps be sold. Meanwhile, we are teching the tier 2 finally after, a fair amount of time. Panda looking to clear off the last remainder of this creep camp. Does have Boots of Speed. Potion of Greater Healing going to be trying to make its way around as well. I don't believe the Dreadlord actually caught any sight of that, as this Water Elemental could end up getting taken down and perhaps giving experience to that Dreadlord there. All right, is it going to give experience or time life? Can't really quite tell. That was a little bit too close to call. Dreadlord, now making its way over here to the north side of the map. All right, Archmage sitting at level 4, Brewmaster sitting at level 2. A little bit of creeps aggroing around Staff of Teleportation. Where is the Archmage going? Going to teleport off to the north here, but plenty of guard towers to deter all of these ghouls here. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across multiple units. Low hit point ghoul could end up getting taken down. There goes one. A second one going to get taken down, as well as the Brewmaster trying to get closer and closer to level 3. All right, and one more ghoul is going to try and sacrifice itself. There's a Breath of Fire, gets taken down by the Brewmaster, and now we're transitioning into clearing out this creep camp. All right, bringing in a Goblin Shredder to join in on the fight here. Who's going to get that last bit of damage? There's that Carrion Swarm ripping through, adding in a little bit of damage there. Goblin Zeppelin getting in on the action to try and keep that Goblin Shredder alive and well, as the Panda, well, wants to finish off, or at least push some lasting damage onto that Dreadlord. Coming back through Water Elementals. Oh, Water Elemental getting beaten down here. Archmage looking to clear things up. And I'm still waiting for Rav3n to come up with a sound strategy so far. Rav3n seems to just be constantly harassing, but I don't actually see his end game strategy as of yet. We are going into a Slaughterhouse and Temple of the Damned, so it looks as though it is going to be Necromancer meat wagons. And we've seen the Necromancer meat wagons spell doom for players who are not expecting it. If you do not have Priest with Dispel Magic in time, suddenly that pop-up army literally pops up out of nowhere, and well, you're being forced to deal with so many units at the same time. A flying machine does scout out the dual Temple of the Dams, and now we are going to get that Arcane Sanctum up, trying to get that adept training going. All right, Arcane Sanctum, Arcane Vault now being placed down. Classic EU Necro Wagon. Yep, or Necro. Necromancer? Necro Wagon? Necro Wagon. All right. So Dreadlord is making its way across here. This is a solo Dreadlord so far, and that does mean that Halls of the Dead, the Dreadlord, is gaining experience at a faster rate. So we could also be looking at trying to get the Infernals out onto the battlefield as well, picking up some additional items. We can see that True Shot Aura does give a little bit of damage bonus to perhaps the Necromancers and also those Skeletal Mages, which will be joining in on the battlefield. First things first, though, Obsidian Statue to try and, well, top off the mana on all of those Necromancers. And, well, we're sitting now at 57 supply compared to 50. A long-term strategy is underway. More Necromancers will need to be trained up, now going into low upkeep, as meat wagons are going to be, well, joining in on the battlefield here. So far, 4 Necromancers, 1 meat wagon, and some Obsidian Statues. The meat wagon actually looking to collect and harvest all of these skeletons here. The graveyard acting as a bit of a skeleton generator for the meat wagons to eventually unload and push out that pop-up army. Dreadlord, dual Circlets of Nobility. True Shot Aura now trying to move out here. Knights are out here onto the battlefield. Paladin already sitting at level 2, opted to go for Devotion Aura instead of Divine Shield, as there are not that many heroes out here on the battlefield. Paladin now going to go ahead and drop down here, as we can see. Well, Skeletal Mages quickly popping up. Staff of Sanctuary is trying to save up some low hit point units. Holy Light on that Paladin, continuing to save, as we see some Dispel Magic there and a timely Scroll of Town Portal. Meat wagons are in position, still rolling on through. Obsidian Statue has plenty of mana. The Necromancers, you don't need that many of them if you have the Obsidian Statues to try and keep them topped off on mana. Back off to the north, the Dreadlord now trying to retreat back. Lots of ghouls. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. That is going to be a lot of damage on those ghouls that are just trying to simply run on by. This is not a good position at all for Rav3n. Inspired is in a great spot here, as the Knights are going to just try to dive on in once more. We are looking at this pop-up army here, as the meat wagon is going to go ahead and try and take down the mortar teams are going to try and take down those meat wagons. Skeletal mages trying to dive on in. A beautiful staff of sanctuary again, saving that mortar team from near certain death. As we see another staff of sanctuary by Inspired. Inspired playing some Inspired human versus undead matchup here, and Rav3n may actually have to try to get a little bit more serious. As this strategy looks like it is no longer really has any legs to stand on. Mortar team's able to blast down those meat wagons pretty effectively, and now that there is not going to be that many meat wagons here, perhaps there's not going to be that many other units, as the Panda gets off a beautiful breath of fire across multiple necromancers and takes them down. 75 supply compared to 47. And Inspired is just playing a great game so far, but he needs to keep his heroes alive and not allow the Dreadlord to get to level 6 if he really wants this game to continue to move along much more easily. More necromancers are popping out, but they're unarmored armor type, taking bonus damage from those mortar teams, and now the mortar teams can easily transition into attacking bases with that siege damage and that siege range. Brewmaster making its way back over. A little bit of additional splash damage there. Perhaps the mortar teams should make their way over to the expansion, put pressure, and try and take the economic advantage that way. Panda sitting at level 4. We are looking at the Paladin sitting at level 3. Goblin Shredder joining in on the fight, as Inspired doesn't seem quite sure where he wants to try and attack to next. There are still a lot of ghouls out here onto the battlefield, and that Dreadlord could get to level 6. Once at level 6, level 6 with that Infernal can be called down onto a group of mortar teams relatively easily, and with that AoE damage and with that Carrion Swarm, well, all of those mortar teams could get taken down in an instant, and suddenly that supply advantage could be gone. All right, units now looking to make their way out. Necromancers, 1 meat wagon, or 1 obsidian statue, 2 meat wagons. Necromancers with decent amount of mana, and here we are going into an engagement as the skeletal mage is going to quickly drop on down. Mortar teams quickly finding the meat wagons in the back portion of the field, looking to try and take that down. We do not see Disease Cloud here, as we're looking at the ghouls trying to finish off some of these knights now with that vampiric aura. More staff of sanctuary going around to try and save down all of those units here, as the Dreadlord still seeing that level 5, getting closer and closer to level 6, but without any real healing, could have a bit of trouble. All right, more damage. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across the middle portion of the map here. Obsidian Statue is trying to heal, and now Dreadlord does have the Infernal. Where is the Infernal going to land? Lands right in the midst of all of these units here, and that AoE damage is adding up. Dreadlord now trying to retreat back, but getting stopped by a mortar team and could get taken down. A beautiful sleep right there, but the Breath of Fire catches the Dreadlord at the final moments. Paladin now with Divine Shield. That Infernal is racking up quite a bit of damage, but it looks as though the Paladin, the Panda, and the Archmage should be able to hold on to the center portion here if additional priests can show up to the party to try and dispel all of these skeletal minions and mages. Plenty of corpses left on the ground here, and the meat wagon still churning out some of those corpses, as the expansion may actually end up taking down, as there are not that many priests out onto the battlefield just quite yet. Knight being brought over into the battlefield. Holy Light level 2 variety trying to save things here, as the Infernal now making its way over. Dreadlord was resurrected at the tavern. There's a Breath of Fire taking down a Necromancer and a meat wagon, and we're still fighting this way through. All right, more Necromancers popping out more units, as well as the Necromancers are actually dealing significant damage against the Knights, since they just have such heavy numbers. Brewmaster starting to run low on hit points. He could be in trouble. He gets taken down, and now without the Breath of Fire to blow over all of these Necromancers, well, the mortar teams really do need to focus them down, but instead they're going after all of these units here. And as I say that, one giant shell-shocking bit of damage going up against the Necromancers and taking many of them down here. Panda now back out here onto the battlefield. 53 supply compared to 41. As the Panda look to brawl up against that Brewmaster there. Dreadlord does have a little bit of benefit, as he does have Vampiric Aura, able to get a little bit of healing every time he attacks, as we see a Carrion Swarm rip through right there. Archmage could be in trouble. Archmage does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Dreadlord does not have any real mana to try and cast another Carrion Swarm, as the mortar teams now retreat back. All right, this was an absolute bloodbath in the middle portion of the map here. Both sides took heavy losses. Both sides resurrected heroes at the tavern. And right now it is Inspired with his long-range mortar teams able to somehow still hold on to this game. Now, the Inferno should be trying to devour magic and, well, take down that water elemental and then perhaps try and take down some of those mortar teams as well, as we are looking at a flying machine. Well, not engaging in this battle for some reason. All right, big carry-on swarm right there, but the Brewmaster able to survive in the single-digit hit point range right there. Paladin with the level 2 Holy Light able to heal back up once more as the units are still retreating once again. Carry-on or no carry-on swarm as of yet. Destroyer now taken down as the units looking to retreat back. Inferno could try and get in a little bit more engaging damage again as the Inferno is about to come to an end. All right, do we see enough mana on this Dreadlord to summon down another Infernal? That is the next follow-up question, as that could it take down the enemy heroes? Paladin, on the other hand, wants to heal back up all of these units and do it quickly. Main gold mines pretty much going to be mined out here in just a second, and soon it will be 2 gold mines to 1 as, well, Inspired taking back that center gold mine location. Level 6 on that Dreadlord, yeah, did change the outcome of the game, but really Inspired realizing that without that Panda's Breath of Fire, needing to have the mortar team switch back over to deal damage to that group of necromancers really had a very large impact as well. You're constantly looking for how to have your units be the most effective at any given moment, and those mortar teams getting in just one volley onto those necromancers pretty much took them all down and then stopped that push from getting too out of hand. All right, Brewmaster now making its way back across here. We are at Black Citadel, unsummoning the Haunted Goldmine as it has come to an end. And now Frostworms joining in on the battle here. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across multiple units. Flying Machine trying to dive on in, and you can see all of those ghouls just still taking quite a bit of damage over time, and the mortar teams are going to be able to splat them down. Interesting a bit of information as well. The mortar teams taking down the ghouls do not leave behind corpses, making that necromancer strategy just a little bit worse as well. Flying Machines now out in the field as well, taking down all of these destroyers, as we can see. Wow, multiple ghouls getting, well, blown over right there. All right, more engaging back and forth. Level 6 now on the Brewmaster, and now with Earth, Storm, and Fire available, that a level 9 Dreadlord may not be able to handle the ultimate multiple ultimate abilities, with that Paladin getting closer to level 5 as well. Frostworm now coming back around here. You can see peasants are trying to massively repair. 42 supply compared to 37. This is not your typical game whatsoever, as the Frostworms looking to finish off those big units, finish off those flying machines. 3-0 upgrades on those flying machines with Inner Fire, dealing major bouts of damage here as the units look to retreat back once more. All right, Cyclone, Storm purposely picking up that Dreadlord. Dreadlord may not have any easy route for escape, trying to, well, trying to cut its way out here, unable to do that, and Inspired takes the game with, well, higher level heroes, multiple heroes as opposed to a higher level hero. That Dreadlord, however, did flip the script and became very scary at level 6. That Infernal dropping down, but not really hitting the mortar teams as I had expected Rav3n to do. If he was able to hit those mortar teams, perhaps neutralize them, he would have been able to hold on to his necromancers, since his necromancers were pretty far back. We saw a lot of exchanges going back and forth. Beautiful play, a beautiful couple of close calls for that low hit point Panda, ultimately getting saved and not stopping Rav3n from getting too much of a momentum advantage. Yeah. So with Panda at 6, with Panda suddenly at 6, the utility of Storm's Cyclone was enough to give the advantage back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.